What's up guys, it's Logan here from the Motorcycle Forge, and today we are straight back into casting our cylinder head. That humming you can hear in the background, that is the kiln, which is preheating the molds. Now I've done a couple modifications off camera, so the furnace I have lined with that insulating ceramic wool stuff. Now I've also made a one-way latch for my tong crucible grabbing thing, so pretty much lock it in place. So when you open it, like that, and then I let go, it locks there and it clips in, and it means it can't expand anymore. It works most of the time. Now I'm going to crank up the furnace. Oh, here goes nothing. Yep. Now lift it up carefully. See if we can pour it. Oh, that was an abortion, wasn't it? First proper attempt at casting done and dusted. Super happy with the things I've learned. The outcome, touch and go. Now I definitely need to work on getting the aluminium into the mold, but overall, not a bad first attempt. And yeah, the furnace worked well with the new insulation. It heated up a lot quicker, and it was really confusing partway through the melting. The temperature was going up, it got all the way to 680, and I was like, sweet. And then the aluminium started to melt, and then the temperature started going down, like a whole 30 degrees. It just kept dropping, and the furnace was still going. I was like, what the hell's happening here? But I think it was literally because the aluminium's melted, and then the surface area has gone from a tiny amount in the crucible to it covering the full bottom of the crucible, and then it's sucking all the heat out of the crucible, which is where my thermocouple measurement was taking the temperature from. Right, I've waited about 25 minutes. Now we're going to cool this one down. This is the one that's the least filled, so might as well start with this. Well, you've seen it there, that's the first one done and dusted. It did actually partially fill out the cylinder head, but other than that, it's pretty useless. This was the one with the smallest feeders and risers and that stuff. It's like a very wise green fella used to say, the best teacher, failure is. And pretty much that means that I'm going to fail as much as possible making these, and then once I've failed in every way possible, there should be nothing left but a beautiful cylinder head at the end of the casting. Now there's 5 things in particular that I have learned from these castings that we need to improve on. Accuracy. So this is the size of the basin that I was trying to pour the aluminium in, and this is the next one. So it is a lot bigger, should be a lot easier to get the aluminium into the mold correctly. The second issue was filling. So with each step, the filling did improve somewhat. So the next version, I have 9 plus that, so there's 10 entryways versus 5. And I think that should be able to get the aluminium into the mold a lot quicker and a lot more evenly. Another issue is air entrapment and not allowing the aluminium in. So all 3 molds have spots where aluminium has got all the way to the top of the mold. It's because the air has escaped in these 3 spots. So instead of just 3 or 4 vents on the top, I printed off a whole bunch of 2 to 3 mil toothpick, and I'm going to attach them to the top of the mold, and then we should have no air troubles, hopefully. The last thing is thin sections. So pretty much this mold here is 40% scale, and that's quite a problem because that's 100%. And as you can see, all the little intricate parts are just even more intricate, and it's not allowing the mold to form properly and for the aluminium to get into the mold properly. So I've upped it to the 50% scale. It is now the next day, and our cylinder head is looking pretty spiffy, and yeah, it's feeling nice and sturdy. So I have also whipped up this here. This is another stainless steel box, made it a nice tight fit. So I've got to glue that in there, and then yeah, once it's all glued, burn it out, and yeah, ready for casting round 2. As you can hear, the furnace is going, so we've got that cranking along nicely. The kiln is preheating the molds as well, and we're up to 370 degrees Celsius, so we're already halfway there. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on it, and when it gets close to the temperature, I'll start putting on some safety gear and getting ready to cast. With all this welding gear on, I feel like I should be doing some sort of ritual, like melt the aluminium, melt the aluminium. Hot, 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 hot. I think. in that hole. Oh, come on. Come on. Keep going. Come on. Right, switch my helmet back to welding mode so I don't blind myself next time I go to weld. Now the vent holes that I've put in the casting may still need to be bigger again. Maybe not more of them, but just a bigger diameter so the aluminium can flow into them, because I don't see any aluminium coming out of the small ones. The 3 big ones, they filled up good, and then that one there actually shrunk when I gave it a tap with the hammer, which that's good. It filled in a void somewhere in the casting. So now I'm just going to let this cool for half an hour and then take it out of the mold and see what it looks like. And just scratch off the last of the mold. Well, that's casting attempt number 2 done, and it is a big improvement on the last one. As you can see, the base alone is far more filled out. We actually have almost a complete sealing surface for the head gasket, and the ports themselves are almost completely filled up as well. The intake is a much bigger improvement, but surface quality is still terrible. I think it's actually slightly worse than the previous one. Hey guys, Future Logan here. I was just doing the editing for this video and I noticed a little something. You see here, all this grey stuff. That is the remains of the plastic still in the mold, so I haven't burnt it out correctly. Now, I was recovering from COVID. Clearly had COVID brain because my dumb ass did somehow not see that. It's pretty darn obvious. But anyway, so that is the reason, I think, for the weird texture on the inside of the casting and a lot of impurities, that it still had some plastic remaining in there from an improper burnout cycle. So yeah, I've got to get that sorted for the next one. Yeah, there's definitely a few things to learn. I think that this helped a little bit, especially around the bottom, but I think this is far from optimal filling up the mold correctly. So I'm going to do a lot of research into proper gating design so I can feed this mold correctly, and then I've got to make sure I can get the mold formed properly as well. That's another thing I've got to work on, but overall it's another step in the right direction, so we just got to keep chipping away at it. And on that note, this has been Logan from the Motorcycle Forge. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you next time.